Alright guys, hello and welcome to number 10. As you saw there in our little bit of our intro there, we've got Smite coming up a little bit after the podcast is over. But now it is time for Monday's podcast! Yeah! The 10th one, actually. So, I've actually done this 10 times. Huh. Weird. But, yeah, my guest this week here on this lovely February 9th, 2015, for the 10th, is none other than... Actually, why don't you just go ahead and introduce yourself?
Okay. My name is Spence.
Right. And you're also known as Fuse4Spence on Twitch.
That's right.
And on YouTube.
And pretty much everywhere else.
And on Steam, maybe.
Yeah.
And on Xbox Live.
Yes.
But not PSN.
Because I don't have that.
We? You?
What?
Wii U? Wii?
Maybe.
Nintendo? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Anyways, so yeah, we have Spence on with us. How's the weather been?
Well, we've been getting buried in snow every other friggin' day, if that amounts for anything.
Mm-hmm. That's why I asked, because, you know, Northeast is getting pretty screwed over right now. Just wondering if you were part of that or not. Have you been like
Wait.
you know, stranded in your house, or, you know, is it that bad?
Well, it got bad, but we have plow trucks that come in, every few hours, so we're not completely stranded. It was just, it's mostly just been a shit ton of snow being pushed around to wherever we can fit it.
Ah, gotcha. Nice. Well, it's good that the good, hard-working people up there are making sure that people can go to and fro and get their stuff done each day, despite the terrible weather. Down here where I live, there is no snow. I saw a couple flurries, maybe last month. That's it. So I don't know, maybe I should consider myself lucky? Who knows? Then again, February to March is usually the worst time of year for us down here.
Yeah, I'm pretty envious of your weather right now.
Yeah, actually the sun was shining and it felt pretty good. I had my windows down and driving all over the place earlier today. So, Zombie Talk. Terrible name. Do you like it? Is it ringing? Is it, you know, catching on with you at all? Is it rubbing off? Or no?
I'll be honest. At first, I wasn't so sure about it either. But the more I heard it, and the more I kind of tuned in for the podcast and heard you use the name over and over again, it's grown on me, and I think it's a decent name.
Cool, nice. So for those that are first-time listeners of this podcast, basically what's happening here is I podcast people from my community, and it's a different person each week, and I do this every Monday. So, it's kind of a community get to know this person this week kind of a deal, and it's just a fun way to interact with the community that is around not only me but Zomspawn in general, because there's a lot of people that come and go throughout the community. They do their own things, they do their own shows, maybe even do it on their own channels, but maybe call themselves part of the Zomspawn community. And, there's some people that may not stream at all until it's time for a Zombspawn marathon or whatever. So it's nice to have a kind of a show to kind of enlighten people of, this is who's in the community. This is kind of like the spotlight of the week, pretty much, to come on and you get to talk to everybody and everyone gets to listen to you, whether they're listening to you live or on YouTube, either way. So it's kind of nice. And this is the 10th one, and my bookings are filled up, Kappa, till the end of February. Next week I got Jay here on, and then on the 23rd is Domino. But, if you're interested in joining the podcast for the first time, March is currently open right now. There may be some Max Crimson in March. I know he was asking. There may be some Razor Sharp. Or, you know what? Maybe there might be a Max Crimson and Razor Sharp at the same time. That could be something.
Mm.
The first ever the two guest podcast at the same time. That would be something. But, my big thing is I try to get a bunch of variety, get different people on. No one wants to come and listen to the thing where it's just the same person over and over and over. Or every, 3 weeks or whatever. People like variety. People like to get to know other people. Maybe some people that they don't really know that much about. And, they get to enlighten them. Someone like a Mike Metal from last week. He doesn't really communicate that much. And, he had like 2 hours to sit and talk with me. And people got to listen to him and stuff. And, you usually see these names on Twitch. You see these usernames on Twitch hanging around my channel or the Zombspawn community channel. And, you may tie to them and you may know them for a while. But you don't really, you get to hear their voice, you get to listen to them, and you get to ask them questions while they're on the podcast with me here. That's what I think the podcast is so cool for the community, is to have all that going down. But so weather is terrible for you up there, but it's not hindering your daily life, pretty much. Is that the gist right now?
Dude, weather like this is the norm up here, like it's what we live with. Like if you come to Maine and expect no snow, then you're going to be in for pretty rude awakening. So we've learned to adapt. It's what we're used to have happening, and we have our ways around it.
Nice. So how many miles exactly are you from Canada?
I don't know exactly in miles, but I know I'm probably at least maybe 5 to 10 hours away.
Okay. So are you in the bottom part of Maine? Or over on the east side?
Yeah, something like that.
So you're kind of in like the bottom, the southeast part of Maine? Are you by the Atlantic
closer
Ocean?
To New Hampshire and whatnot. I think so. We're closer to Massachusetts and New Hampshire.
Okay. So you're definitely towards the bottom portion of the state, not the very top next to Canada.
Yeah.
And Newfoundland and all that. Right? That is right above Maine, right?
Right. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been there, aka I've never been there, so. Alright, that was just a question that I had, because I always knew that you lived in Maine. I've known that for a while now, and I always was curious just how far away you live from the Canadian border. It's, not every day someone lives right next to another country like that. I mean, me, myself, I live in Oklahoma, practically the dead center spot of the United States of America. So, I can go all the way through Texas and get to Mexico, and then, I've got probably 4 or 5 states to get through to even think about getting to Canada. So it's kind of nifty. Different people with different places where they live and stuff, all that kind of jazz. So what have you been up to outside of streaming? I know you've been busy with a job. I see you're posting pictures on Facebook of food, cooking stuff. How's everything going? Off the computer.
Well, as far Well, yeah. As far as work has gone, well, I'm actually not working at this very moment because of some family stuff that went on. I mean, I'm not. If you, we're friends on Facebook. You see a lot of what goes on with me. But I had a little sister be born recently for my stepmom, and that was and I live right next door to my dad and my stepmom. I have my own place, just a couple buildings, well, the same building, a couple of apartments down, and it's been a pretty busy time with the whole it's basically new baby season because I had other family other parts of the family have new babies as well, so it's kind of just been a lot of running around helping with that. I've been spending time mostly helping out at my dad's. Any food that you've seen me share on Facebook, like I'm some kind of Instagrammer or something, that's me basically cooking for my dad and my stepmom because they've been so busy. So it's basically me doing my part. And otherwise, from that, I've been one of the people shoveling out this apartment complex and helping the plow guys out. I've been keeping busy with that. It's been pretty hectic with these storms because it's been the most snow we've gotten, I think, in the last couple of years. So it's been pretty hectic, but I'm keeping busy.
Nice, nice. So, keeping busy doing that, you're not really able to game much, or are you? And if you are able to game, what?
Uh, well, I have some time. Like I don't spend all my time working on that stuff. I do stay home a lot and try to get on, watch a few casts, play a few games. As for what I've been playing recently, it's been stuff like I've been trying out Warframe, for instance. That's a free game on Steam, really fun, sci-fi, alien shooting, explosions, and all that kind of shit. Really
So
fun.
it's a free-to-play
I've been
multiplayer
trying.
game on Steam,
Yes,
and
yeah,
you
I think you can
recommend
have
it?
I think you can have more than four players. Highly. I
Oh.
think I think a lot of people would enjoy it.
So wait, you say
I've been playing a lot of other. Oh, go ahead.
you say 4 players? Are you meaning that it's like a 4 player co-op game versus AIs, like a Killing Floor? Or?
It's no, it's more of well, basically I don't even know if it goes beyond four. The most I played with is four, I believe. But it's more of a mission based game. Kind of you go out and you shoot aliens that are NPCs, and you can have people come along with you. And there is a PvP section, but I have not checked that out yet.
Okay, all right, continue on.
I've been trying other free games as well, like Hellgate Global, for instance. That's another free one. It's not on Steam, but you can find it on their website. I don't know what the exact link is, but if you Google it, you'll probably find it. It's that's more of like one of those free roam RPG sort of things where you do missions and whatnot. Uh, well, not third person, more like overhead kind of view. Not exactly. It, it's kind of like World of Warcraft, but like a post-apocalyptic Earth sort of thing. I
Ah,
guess you could say. That's pretty fun too.
okay.
It has zombies in it, so I think you'd actually like a game like that.
Uh-huh. Nice.
Um, those are the basic kind of games I've been getting into. Otherwise, I just play occasional things on my Steam library. Games I haven't gotten a chance to try out too much yet. Stuff like Shovel Knight and all that stuff.
So not much console gaming.
Occasionally, mostly, I've been putting on WWE 2K14 for the sake of either making a new wrestler for MUW or just messing around with the story options and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. So you brought it up, so we might as well get right next into that. How many eFeds and Zombspun are you actually commentating for now?
Well, I don't actually do as much commentary as I used to. I used to do one for pretty much every single eFed, aside from obviously, I mean, I guessed on QZW once, but otherwise I was pretty much on all of them. But now it's mostly, I mostly do FTR, the first show of MUW out of its three current ones now, and occasionally I appear on WWO. And breaking the fourth wall, I appear as a character in that one rather than myself. I haven't been able to get on there as of recently because it's been a little bit busy, but because of the the storms and whatnot here. But honestly, yeah, I kind of cut back quite a bit. I've been trying to get back on FWS as well because Stereo's been trying to talk to me about getting back on there. It's just been kind of busy, and now it's back on hiatus for a little bit. But I'm Definitely not as commentary crazy as I used to be, but I try to help where I can.
Okay, yeah, 'cause I know there for a while you were like on everything, including I think at the time DNG was still going, so you were not only doing all that, but you're also on there too.
Yeah, I was basically Mr. Helper. I'd pop up wherever somebody needed a hand with something or a stand-in kind of guy, and I was there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now that's not a problem anymore.
Nope.
So MUW, I'm not. I'm gonna be honest. Ever since it kind of went off to its own channel on the other site, I've kind of lost tabs on it. Mostly because there's a lot of stuff that goes down here, and I can't seem to make up my mind where I want to stream after 6 months, and so I have to go through the process all over again of establishing myself. Although I think that this is a good, it's good for me to find my own individuality. Finally, for the first time since T-Virus Zombies, to be honest, because for like 2 years I was main event network. For 2.5 years I was known as Zomspawn. It wasn't before until it wasn't since T-Virus Zombies that I had my own channel where I could do my own stuff all the time. That's been a long time. That's been like 2010 or something like that. It's been like 5 years. So for me to be able to start a new channel here on Twitch and just be able to go hog wild and do what I was doing over on the other side, except here, back here, right next door to the Zomspawn channel. It's nice for me to be able to reinvent myself. But anyways, I was getting a little off track there. But basically, in layman's terms, I've been really busy with my own stuff. So how has MUW been going on? And I guess both of you can answer that since you're both heavily involved in that whole deal.
I'm about to put your character in a tag team with a fat version of Macho Man.
Wait, which character? Butcher Pete?
Yeah, he's still there.
Ah, okay.
Because, like Butcher and a guy that enjoys eating a lot of meat.
Mm.
Yeah, it's true. Both Gil and I do play a big part in MUW these days. He runs I guess you could say the mid show, the other show that's on 2K14. He runs Asylum, and that's basically he gets basically who Sean's not using. I mean, I hate to put it so bluntly, but that's basically how it is. But he doesn't mind. He does a great job with it. He has full reign of that show, and I run FTR, which is basically like the NXT of MUW. It's where all the new talent comes. Anybody who submits a wrestler, I create them or they submit them, kind of like how things work with QZW, and we run them in matches. Though as of late, I've been trying to include more story. Occasionally, I'll make some NPC wrestlers myself and come up with factions and whatnot, and it's been a lot of fun. Anything Sean likes, he'll eventually take up and put on one of the other shows. I do commentary on FTR, and sometimes parts of the pay-per-views. It's a great time, and as far as how it's going, ever since moving to that other site, it's been a little bit of an adjustment because it's Sean's first time, well, in a while, casting it on his own place. But it's been working well. A lot of the people who were big fans of it already came along, and we've been getting new people coming in. I think it's going as strong as ever.
Great. That's awesome. And I know when I...
Hey, Spence, have you been checking the MEW sign-up forum on the Zomspun forums yet?
Not yet. I'm going to probably actually look at that after this, because I imagine I at least have a couple guys to make, so I'll get back to that.
Yeah, I know when I departed, I put in a good word for Sean's channel on possibly getting partnerships, so hopefully he'll achieve that over time. So that's good. I kind of miss having MUW part of the Zomspawn weekly schedule, but I know that eventually everything has to go off on their own, and I would like to think that I helped. What's the word I'm looking for? Grow it, nurture it. Sean did all the work. No, let's not let's not think that I'm taking credit for it. I'm just saying I allowed MUW to be a part of my channel for a long time, and it allowed a lot of people who wouldn't have normally known about it to get eventually be a part of it and create this community environment full of eFeds where before this it was like, oh, you have this eFed on your channel, oh, I hate you. eFed wars. Heh. But when I started Zombspun, I allowed. Actually, I guess even back to Main Event Network, I kind of allowed just anyone who wanted to start an eFed, just go ahead, start an eFed. It's all under the same umbrella. It's cool. No one's beefing anybody. No one's eFed warring this person or eFed warring that person. Everyone's all cool with each other. Everything's fine. You know. And I created that peaceful environment where eFed owners could coexist and people from the community could coexist without having to worry about Twitch channel wars versing each other over eFed BS that many of you know that I had to deal with between the years of like 2009 and 2010, which was just ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, I would like to think that I helped groom MUW, but I didn't do any of the work. It's just allowing it to be in the spotlight, I guess, part of the community to help it grow in the behind the scenes. But believe me, I'm not taking any credit away from Sean. I trust me when I know what kind of dedication and work goes into doing an eFed, and you know, he's done a very good job. I've been very impressed with the way he has kept it going and his continuous progression of his eFed over the years. It takes a special kind of someone to be able to keep doing that over and over and over and over, once a week, maybe even a little more than that, and still keep going at it with the same attitude of, man, I really want to do this. There's not very many people out there that can do that consistently, week after week. I know I'm one of them, and I know there's Sean, and I know Jaeger's out there, and I know there's other people that have started their own feds. They may be brand new, but they're showing some consistency as well. So you always got to appreciate those people that put in that hard work and want to, provide that entertainment to the viewers on Twitch like that. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication for sure, and organizational skills at that. So that's great. It sounds like everything's going great over there, and I'm glad that it has blossomed into becoming its own thing on its own channel. So that's cool, and I give all the props in the world to all you guys for that, for being able to do that.
Will you still be as proud when we kick your butt in Umbrella Nationals?
If it ever happens, maybe. Yeah. I remember I gotta fit it into my schedule, and my schedule's pretty hectic these days. Oh. So yeah, I mean, that's an idea I've been wanting to do. Actually, I think last year I said I wanted to do 2 each year from now on, but it really just comes down to the same thing as, people wanting the chat events once a month. It's just like, I don't want to do it like that and burn myself out of that. I want to try to keep it as a special deal and just kind of book it whenever I feel that the time is right to do it. Because if I put it in there and my heart's not into it, I know I'm not going to like it, I'm not going to enjoy it, and I'm going to hate it, and I'm just not going to want to do it again. So I just kind of play it by ear and go from there on that. But yeah,
totally.
Let's see. All right, so let's go to the forums here. And Gil actually posted some questions, so I'll let him go first and ask you his questions.
We're going to the questions a bit early than usual. Just a moment. I gotta load up the questions because I'm in the middle of homework at the moment.
I figure we kind of mix it up a little bit. We'll do a few questions and then we'll go back to chatting it up, and then we'll...
Okay. Okay, Spence. Will you be joining the 2015 King of Trios right here on Zombspawn?
Yes.
Great. What is your hat size?
I haven't a friggin' clue. I mean, as much as I do own a couple of hats, I don't actually look at the size tag. I just gonna say, hey, does it fit on my head? Does it stay on my head? Good, let's roll.
How glad are you that Joey Hallmark is back?
Legit hype. Like, legit hype. Honestly, I gotta gush on this for a second here. Because I didn't see it coming. None of us saw it coming. There was no hint to it. There was no clues. But, because when I first came into QZW, when I, like, real life here, submitted my character, I didn't know how to, go around with this kind of stuff. And when my character debuted, and that was at Terror's Reality 2013, he debuted as basically a managerial position where he escorted Joey Hallmark to the ring in a match against Duke Dice. And I'd interfered in the matches and then got kicked out with Duke trying to kick my ass on the way out. And that's kind of how I got established. My first match was against Joey Hallmark. I didn't know him too well in person, but I loved his character. And, I heard about the stuff, his feud with Tad Peters, and just how far that went. And he's awesome. Like, not only just as a person, his character is amazing. Just this all-around happy guy who just, gives it his all to, make people happy. And he can kick ass while he's doing it in a very nice way. I respect that character very much, and, I kind of feel like it's thanks to that character that my character got established. So, to see him come back and be doing something again in QZW, I was legitimately marking out. It was great.
Okay, then. What has been your greatest challenge in QZW and Zombspawn, respectively?
QZW. Now let's look at my my wrestling quote unquote career. Last year was probably one of the best years for my character because not only did he win his first title, he won it twice, and it was great. And he comes into season 3 and loses it. And it's kind of like that uphill battle to try and get back onto where I was and moving forward. Because Duke Dice has been my character's arch rival, it seems, for the longest time. We put on some amazing matches, and I think our feud has probably become pretty well known by this point in QZW. Basically, the biggest challenge is just getting up after losing a belt and losing dominance. Just try to work your way back up, keep tuning in, keep supporting your character, doing promos when you can. It's always fun to watch, regardless of if I have matches or if my character is winning or losing. I love QZW, and just the biggest challenge, just watching my character grow it's not much of a challenge. It's just fun watching him work his way back up. And as for Zombspawn itself, my biggest challenge, probably that because of my move and how busy I've become, hasn't been as easy to support the other shows and the other people as much as I used to. And I do kind of feel a bit bad for that, but nobody holds it against me. It's just that my biggest challenge is trying to fit everything back into a schedule and be able to help people when they need me.
All right. Will Outlaw be dethroned as QZW champion?
I freaking hope so. I mean, you got this big match coming up at the at Ground Zero, 6-man battle for the title, and that gives Outlaw a pretty good chance of losing, but just as much of a chance at winning. It all depends on who goes after who and how it goes, but I have high hopes that finally somebody else will take the green title and run with it.
Will Graham win the Battle Royal, or will he fall short for a third year?
I really hope he wins. Like, not just because he's my friend, because he's one of the guys I like the most as far as Zombspawn goes. But his character is one of my favorites because he's a Ninja Turtle, and he's come so close so many times to winning it. I want to see him win the big one. I want to see him get an opportunity for World Title Gold because he wins it. And I want to see him high five somebody out again. Even if it's me, I want to see him do well.
And what kind of salad pairs well with linguine?
Um, well, linguine is I'm a big pasta fan. I'm good at cooking it because
As
it's
we all
easy.
are.
Yes. But what kind of salad? I feel the best kind of salad for pastas would be either a blue cheese or ranch salad, and a lot of people turn their nose at blue cheese. I actually like it, but I guess most salads work with it as a side. I mean, a salad is a side dish, and I guess if anything, I guess keep it greener. Greener vegetables for a salad.
Thank you, Spence.
All right. Let's see. We'll go ahead and go through Mark's questions that he posted here now, and we'll do this. The following questions will all be started with the word bitch. It is only a derogatory remark if you view it as one. Well, this should be interesting. Okay, we've got 10 questions. Bitch. Why the fedora over a baseball cap, a knitted cap, a skull cap, a cowboy hat, a captain's hat, a hat with a propeller, and or a hat with a flamingo on it?
Well, to respond to Mr. Marks using bitch at the beginning of every question, I will use my Lord and Savior the Ass Knocker for every answer. So, my Lord and Savior the Ass Knocker. Why a fedora over all these other things? Because as much as it has its own following as far as its jokes go with everybody wearing them, I feel it's a unique and stylish hat when used correctly and not, with euphoria or whatever the hell else the stereotype is. I feel like it's a stylish hat. It goes back to the old mobsters and the gangsters who wore them. That's my inspiration, not just because every YouTube white knight wears them or whatever, however the stereotype goes. I really don't pay attention. I just think it's a nice looking hat. I like skull caps, I like cowboy hats, baseball caps, I like all kinds of hats. I just felt it was unique, and I had no idea Duke Dice was wearing them. I just like them. That's about as far as it goes.
Not to be confused with a trilby, right?
Yes, because that's the common misconception. All those stereotype pictures show a fat guy with a neckbeard wearing a trilby hat, which is not a fedora. It's very like one, but it's shorter and has a bending brim. And I do have one of those, but now I actually do have a real fedora, a wide brim, and yeah, it's a common confusion among people. They think they're buying a fedora when they're buying a trilby. Fedoras are much better looking than trilbies, in my opinion, but that's also up to taste.
I actually have a trilby myself. I don't ever wear it though. Okay. Question 2 is, bitch, what the fuck is wrong with Toucan Sam and everyone's always after his Lucky Charms?
My Lord and Savior, the Ass Knocker, Toucan Sam always says to follow your nose, and I think he followed his nose into the wrong kind of sugar, if you get what I mean. And if he's thinking that everyone's after his Lucky Charms, then yeah, he's definitely been inhaling the wrong kind of sugar with that follow your nose. I'm high and stoned off my ass. This is some crazy shit, bro. Yeah, he's high as a kite. That's what the fuck is wrong with him.
Bitch, who is your daddy and what does he do?
Bitch, it ain't. Oh wait, no, I don't say bitch. That's his job. My Lord and Savior, the Ass Knocker. My daddy is not Arnold. Well, okay, let me be like, if I come out of silliness for just a second. Who my dad really is, he is a retired war veteran and a very strong man. I respect him greatly. That's the simple answer, and otherwise, I don't know my daddy. I don't know.
Nice. Number 4, he says, bitch, can you confirm or deny that Joey Hallmark was on hiatus due to transactions he waged at a local Hallmark card shop where he thought he could open a tab and concerns to the candy aisle and or the remaining Beanie Babies?
My lord and savior, the ass knocker. I cannot confirm or deny it, nor can I confirm or deny that Grem had any part in it either. Maybe he was. I want to think it was more due to a lawsuit. Either he started or Hallmark itself started over his name and the fact that he has a crown. I don't know. Maybe that's the case. It would explain why he was gone so long, because these things tend to take a long time. As for the Beanie Babies, well, we're just gonna have to frisk him and find out.
Okay. Bitch, was Martin Starr also a said accomplice to Joey Hallmark's transgressions in the previous question due to their gold star marketing from the recent past?
I think Martin Starr was more sued for having Rystar on his pants, but nobody remembers Rystar enough unless they're a classic gamer enough to give a crap. So maybe that's what happened. Because Martin was able to show up to work, so maybe his was kind of just pushed aside and they just didn't give a crap.
Number 6. Bitch, what video game do you be looking forward to in 2015 and beyonds? Wait, no, just 2015. Beyonds are now denied.
You know, I haven't thought too much about the newest upcoming video games, but what comes to mind immediately, and this isn't something I'd play, so to speak, it's more something I enjoy watching people play. Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is coming out this year, very soon from the sounds of it, and I'm horrible with jump scares. I'm a regular pansy as far as that shit goes, but I love watching people play it, and I've gotten really fascinated with the story of the last two games and how it intertwines, and I want to see where this one goes. So, if anything, I'm looking forward to that game and watching somebody play it.
You know, I'm actually, like, really... I was watching The Walking Dead last night, and there was this commercial for Evolve that came on, and before I was like, you know, that game seems kind of cool. Like, I knew it was like 4 people versus 1 monster multiplayer. And, you know, it's like 4 of you and your friends taking on 1 monster who's a player control. And I was like, yeah, that's a pretty cool concept. Kind of like Left 4 Dead in a way. And I saw the commercial last night during Walking Dead, and I was like, dang, that actually looks pretty cool. So, you know, if there was a game in 2015 that I'm kind of looking forward to, it's probably going to be Evolve right now, and I know it's coming out here pretty quick. I just don't know what system I'm going to be getting it for. See, the thing with me is I want to get as much as I can on Steam, but I know I'm getting to the point now where my computer won't be able to run some of the more brand new games. I'm even kind of questioning GTA 5 at this rate with my computer, because my computer's getting, you know, up there in age. It's like 4 or 5 years old now. I've had it. So it's always nice to just buy a game on a console, then you don't have to worry about it. You know it's going to work. So I'm kind of juggling Evolve between PC and Xbox One, but I'll probably just end up getting it on the Xbox One. Since, of course, I don't have a PS4, and that seems to be what a lot of people will be getting it for. But Evolve and Resident Evil Revelations 2 coming out this month on the 18th, I believe. Wednesday the 18th, I believe, is when that gets released. And it is 3 days before my 24-hour Resident Evil marathon. So I will be including Revelations 2 in my marathon. So just perfect timing on that. And I didn't even look at the release date for that when I booked my marathon. I was just going by my schedule real life. I have that weekend off, so it was a perfect Saturday to book that on, and then just comes to find out it's 3 days after the release of Revelations 2. So I will be playing that in my marathon. I don't have high hopes for it, but you know, I'm going to be doing it regardless, just because it's Resident Evil. Anyways, question 7. Bitch, with the exception of both myself and the turtle, who would you like to feud with in QZW?
My lord and savior, the ass knocker. Well, considering that I'm on Livewire anyway, I couldn't feud with them anyway. Because I think, yeah, they're both on Contagion. I know Grem was... Yep, Grem moved there. Well, I wouldn't want to feud with Graham anyway. I'd rather, hang out with him and be buddies. But who I'd rather feud with? Well, I mean, I've been feuding with Duke for the longest time, and that's always been kind of natural because we have good chemistry as far as our promos and whatnot. But if for the future, should I move on from Duke someday and do something else? Who I considered feuding with, it's hard to say because part of me's wanted to kind of step up to a bigger plate and maybe see how I fare in other divisions. I don't know. It's all kind of down to who I face and where it goes from there, because it's very unpredictable. QZW, best friends could turn in on each other in a flash. Someone could attack somebody out of nowhere and start a feud. It could be anything. But I guess people in mind, I haven't really thought of too many. Besides just the usual. I guess part of me's been interested in is possibly feuding with a faction, or I mean, I know that the Nazis are already being covered by Gil's American Legion or whatever, but I don't know. I've always wanted to see where it goes, getting involved with a group and what role I would play. Because I'm a big fan of like Survivor Series teams and stuff like that. So maybe someday like be involved in a faction and feud with another faction or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Bitch, what is your favorite movie of all time? Mine is Lucky Number 11. Lucy Liu is quite tasty. Which I have never seen that movie before, but I would have to agree with the Lucy Liu statement for sure.
My Lord and Savior, the Ass Knocker, my favorite movie of all time. That's very hard to come to a term on because I've seen so many movies in my lifetime that it's hard to just pinpoint one. But I guess if I were to try, you see, I guess if I think back to what I watched as a kid, kind of religiously, and what I still think would hold up today, something I watched when I was younger was a classic, James and the Giant Peach. If anybody remembers that, it was one of those claymation sort of deals. It went from live action to claymation, and it was very well done, and I think holds up even well today. It's something I watched so many times because I used to have VHS tapes, and that one I saw on Netflix recently. I want to watch it. It comes to mind. I still think it holds up well today. I don't know if I could definitely determine a favorite, but that's one that easily comes to mind.
Nice. I'd have to juggle a couple. I'd have to go with Saving Private Ryan. I'd have to go with the original Predator. I'd have to go with Scarface. I'd have to go with the Untouchables. And there's one more that I usually list when I can't remember what it is now. Yeah, usually when people ask me that, I'm like, the original Predator is hard to beat. Scarface is hard to beat. Saving Private Ryan is hard to beat. Those are good ones. Anyways, those are mine though. Last question. Bitch, what happened to question number 8?
My Lord and Savior, the Ass Knocker, that was actually my first question. Where the hell is number 8? Well, I guess it's out to eat 8, but fuck it.
Maybe it got offended by all the words in front of the questions.
Maybe 8 doesn't like the word bitch.
Perhaps. Alright, we'll go ahead and touch on Sean Bretherick's questions that he asked for you too, and then we'll save Grim in a little bit towards the end. His first question, he has 2 questions. His first one is, would you come to Contagion and be my stunt double?
Well, you see, my answer to that is, well, I remember the requirements for a stunt double, that the person in question cannot be more over than Sean Bretherick, so I don't think that would work. Just saying. No, but we actually seriously talked about this, and though it's kind of funny because his character is based off of Johnny Cage, who in turn is a homage to Bloodsport, I would think. Some people say that with the nut punches. And my character is obviously right out of Bloodsport, so it's kind of like it kind of would fit. But at the same time, I think I honestly think Chucky the Clown's a much better fit for Sean Bretherick's stunt double. But serious answer, no.
Wait, who did you say is it better?
Chucky the Clown, man.
Oh.
I'd love to see him in a little Sean Bretherick get-up.
Oh, jeez.
You can just put Sean quotes in instead of that laugh.
Yes.
Restart!
Why does Grim have to ask all the good questions? And this is a trick question because we actually haven't went to Grim's questions yet.
But I do have an answer. It's because he actually asks questions. This is like the first time Bretherick's asked questions in a while, I think, and Graham kind of does it for everybody. He's just a really good questioner. Maybe he plays a lot of 20 questions. He just knows the right things to ask.
2A is... one moment.
You're actually getting it.
I don't know if you heard that.
I didn't, but I know the sound because he plays it for me like every time I'm on a call with him. Hi.
Yeah, that was his next question.
That was my answer.
That's not a question.
Okay. He's saying hi in a questionable manner. So
at least he's being friendly.
I guess, yeah. All right, so that's the only questions we have left is from Grim, and thanks to everyone who did post questions in our forums. I know everybody loves to wait to the last second, or at least the last day, before they post them, except for Gil usually. So that's really nice. And better be glad that there was some Resident Evil 4 before we started this. So there was some extra time to be able to ask your questions. This is your chance now, and a reminder that next week it will be the 11th podcast with Jay Hair, and that thread will be posted probably tonight. So you have starting tonight to start posting your questions to Jay Hair, or you can ask me stuff, or you can ask Gil stuff. It doesn't have to be just the guest on the show. You can ask any three of us or two of us if Gil's not going to be there. Questions and stuff. All right, so that's our questions. We'll get back to Grim in a few, but let's talk about the status of QZW here. A lot of stuff has been going down so far. Season 3. Of course, we had the Joey Hallmark deal, which you kind of touched on. We also had the Razor Sharp dressed up as Crow thing. Two really huge moments during Doomsday that everyone just couldn't stop talking about. Just huge things. Seems like we're starting to get some new, fresh faces all around. Starting to get some rookies fresh into the division added to the QZW roster this season. We got, it seems like everything is really going really good right now. The only thing that just hasn't been firing on all cylinders just yet is Next Gen. And, that's hashtag soon. So, it is what it is.
Is it hashtag tomorrow?
I don't know. It's all I have right now from management is hashtag soon, with a question mark after it. That's really all I have right now in my paperwork. But yeah. So how do you think? Because you Spence are currently involved in a division which, privy to Season 3, was just thought of pretty much as just another title. I mean, it was given that biohazard-y name, and you're thinking, oh, well, that's just gimmick because the Fed is called Quarantine Zone Wrestling. But it wasn't until really this season where it's like, oh, wait a second. The biohazard title is kind of like another hardcore title on the other brand. So, surprise, motherfucker. Here's some weapons. Start getting to use them. Here's Butcher Pete. How do you feel about that? You being a 2-time Biohazard champion, are you kind of scared away by that? And by who's actually in the division now? Or are you okay with this?
Well, honestly, because it was kind of alluded to when you guys did the broadcast, when I faced Duke Dice with the belt on the line and Danny Chambers was the ref, and it was a no disqualification match, and weapons were invoked. Many people started calling it a blood sport kind of match, which seemed to suit me. And before, the way I thought of the Biohazard division was more monsters, because that was kind of how the dude always described it, was whoever held that belt would be basically the king of monsters. And I'd like to think that I was a big part of that division, having be the first guy to win the belt twice and in the same season. It was it was quite a thing. But yeah, to see it evolve to a much more violent and dominating sort of thing, and see Butcher Pete involved, well, yeah, I mean he's a big threat to anybody in the division, especially considering how he destroyed Duke, which I'm sure we'll allude to in the QZW report. Butcher Pete's been a threat to everybody. He comes in, he does what he wants, he tears people apart. He's a big threat, but I honestly think he'd make a very good opponent as well. The division's growing, because before it was basically just me and Duke. Now we got Danny Chambers and Butcher Pete in the mix, and God knows who else will show up. More violence, more bloodshed. It's becoming its own thing, and I love it. To be blunt, I love it.
You mentioned last week's match that took place, which was Butcher Pete versus Duke Dice in the very first match of Livewire, and a lot of people were probably confused that would be the kickoff for last week's Livewire. But remember, Duke Dice wasn't involved at Doomsday at all, so he had a whole week of rest, R&R, and so the show kicked off with him coming out here non-title against Butcher Pete, and I don't want to say it was a squash, but I mean Butcher Pete, he took him to the woodshed, and I think that opened a lot of people's eyes about, oh boy, what else is going to happen in this division, because you also got Danny Chambers sitting in there, and he's going to come in and do what he's going to do, which you never know when it's going to happen, because that's just the way he is. Secretive little Danny Chambers. Don't forget about James Earl Cash, who, he made a statement a couple weeks back as well. And there seems to be some rumors about him being involved in that new DOA stable that, we'll touch on a little bit later on that as well, who, a lot of people thought, just another rip-off biker, this biker that. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? They just beat your tag team champions. How you like that?
We're not scared of 8-ball or chains.
Are you scared of the other guy with the long hair? Fake Undertaker?
Oh, who is scared of Crush?
I don't know. Doink?
Freaking... Nah, well, Doink beat him.
Has it been confirmed if it stands for Dead on Arrival, or does it stand for something else?
I don't know what it stands for. Maybe James Earl Cash will let us know.
Yeah.
If it's marking the actual WWE group, that would be Disciples of the Apocalypse.
That could be it. I don't know. We haven't gotten a full-fledged promo out of them boys yet. The only person that's really talked has been Luke Cranfield, and that was a couple weeks back when he said, "Hey, I'm back, and we're gonna be, you guys remember that. That's been a while, though.
Yeah.
So maybe after their statement in the ring last week, maybe now we'll get a little bit of some trash talk on the mic. I think they deserve it after what they did last week. Anyways, I kind of got off base there again. But, yeah, James Earl Cash also involved in the Biohazard title division last time I checked. But yes, things should be shifting and very interesting, because now that Butcher P has got a win over Duke Dice non-title, that pretty much puts Spence and Butcher Pete kind of at the top, and now they're going to have to fight it out to get dibs, unless it ends up being some sort of triple threat match or something heading into Ground Zero or Night of the Dead. How do you feel about that? Are you afraid of Butcher Pete? How do you feel facing him one-on-one potentially?
Well, here's the thing. As far as it goes, for one thing, I'm looking forward to Ground Zero, because not only does it mean a lot to me because it's a great event, it was a year ago on that same event is where I first beat the Crusher for the belt. And, I could very well, if I'm going in for a title match again, I could become a 3-time champion with that. But going back to your question on Butcher Pete, I'm not afraid of him. I think the guy is a big threat, and I think that his display was incredible when he destroyed Duke. But I want to remind people of something, because let's look back at the title match I had with Duke where Chambers was the ref. Chambers comes in, everything seems fine. I think I have Duke on the ropes. Suddenly, slow counts and fast counts all around, screws everything up, and I lose my belt. I get some of my revenge on Chambers when I was forced to team with Duke. I kicked his ass while Duke won the match. But looking now into the future, I cannot ignore James Earl Cash either, like you mentioned, because he beat me. I'm not going to deny that. An upstart came in and did exactly what I did to the Crusher. He beat me. But Butcher Pete is indeed at the top now because of what he was able to do against Duke. So if I have to fight him, I have to fight him. Win, lose, or draw, I'll give it my all, and because he'll make a great opponent, and I think both of us are equally deserving. So may the best man win.
Speaking of Ground Zero, do you have any intentions of actually entering the Rumble match?
If I can get in, absolutely. Even just to just be a part of it. I don't know if I can win the whole friggin' thing, but I had fun with it last year, and I love the chat rumbles. I love the chat events. I at the very least, yeah, I'd love to get involved.
Let's talk a little bit about Shimmer, just to give the chicks some love here on the podcast. What are your thoughts on Jessica Havoc now being the women's champion after beating Miharu like that?
There's been a lot of controversy in this whole thing because your two singles titles are being held by what people call real life wrestlers. And, well, it's definitely a big thing to consider because, yeah, we got a lot of QZW faithful women there. And we have the Dungeon of Doom as the tag champs, which I'm very happy about. I think it's well deserved and a long time coming. But then we got, yes, J-Hav holding the biggest one of them all. She destroyed Miharu in the end, and it's unfortunate in my opinion. I mean, J-Hav's a great wrestler. I can't deny her that. But I think that she's got a huge target on her back with all the QZW women running around. And, many of them are not very happy that she's holding a QZW title. So, honestly, I hope that it's worth it for her because there's a lot of tough ladies like Goddess John, Julie, Rasher, and even the Dungeon of Doom as singles competitors are tough customers. So she's got to watch out because not only when you're a champion do you have a target, but when you're not liked by the other people in the locker room, you have an even bigger target. So J-Hav is going to have to prove that she's got what it takes if she wants to keep that belt.
Did you see that match, the main event of Shimmer last week, where it was the number one contender match?
I think I was there for it. I might have missed the end result.
Miharu won over Rasher, Julie, and Goddess Dawn. It was a 4-way. And
Right. Okay.
It was 2 out of 3 falls. 4-way match. And, yeah, she picked up both falls and nobody else picked up anything. So
that's right.
That's the reason why I wanted to bring it up, because it seemed like she got crushed in that title match, but then she came back last week and just totally dismantled the match. She spanked everybody and took it home.
If she can beat that many of QZW's best women, then maybe her loss to J-Hav was just a result of her not being prepared. I don't know. But if she's even half as dominant as she was in that match, then considering nobody pinned her, yeah, I think J-Hav has a lot to be afraid of.
Mm-hmm. All right. And obviously you're cool with Dungeon of Doom being champs, tag champs, and first ever QZW Women's Tag Team champs.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay, so we kind of touched on all of that. You kind of mentioned it back earlier, but I'm going to kind of go back to that for a second. You said that when Joey Hallmark came out that you weren't expecting it and you had no idea, and I guess the people you were talking to really had no idea who it was going to be. course, I knew because I'm the one that does the
Yeah.
story. But I believe Mark, yeah, Mark knew. Me and Mark knew. That was pretty much it. I don't usually like to tell people that are involved what's going to happen. Case in point, Razor Sharp. He had no idea from the get-go that this was going to be him. This was all planned out from I think it was the very first show of season 3 on Contagion, where Razor Sharp faced Jack Johnson in a singles match. I think that was the very first show of season 3 on Contagion. That's when that angle officially started. It was that night, the first night back of season 3. So this whole time, that's been under the radar. What happened at Doomsday? And I know because of his promo he posted, and because of some communication that we might have had, that he thought that maybe he was being overlooked, and it just kind of didn't really make much sense because he wasn't included in that six-pack challenge. Whereas, a lot of other people that were kind of in the know were involved in it. And in fact, he wasn't even booked on the card for Doomsday anywhere on paper until, the Crow thing happened. I think it was at that point that he might have had an idea that, oh, okay, maybe I'm going to come out and interfere or something like that. But I don't think anyone really had any clue that, face paint's going to get rubbed off and, oh, wait, it's Razor Sharp all along. So that's just an example of that. I don't like to usually tell people who are actually involved in what they're doing because I feel that it kind of ruins the surprise. It kind of spoils it. Because when you don't know what's going to happen to you, or whether you're the offender or the defender, if you don't know what's going to happen, it keeps it more suspenseful. If you end up knowing what's going to happen, when it's going to go down, sure, you'll probably watch just to see how it pans out, but you're already going to know what's going to happen. And it kind of ruins it. So I try to keep secrets from everyone. I'll pass some secrets on to Mark, just because he's been doing this with me for so long. We've kind of seen just about everything there is to do, whether it's 10 years of chat feds or 7 years of doing it this style now. So I kind of run some things by him and do that, but I think it keeps it more suspenseful when you keep everybody out of the loop. And of course, Hallmark knew that this was going to go on. He contacted me like a month before, and he said, I've been watching. I'd like to come back and this and this. And I was like, all right, yeah, sure. I mean, I can hook you up. I got something cooking right now that I can throw you in. And what happens? Yeah, Doomsday. So you said, you didn't really have any idea who it was. What were you thinking leading up to this? Who did you think Grim was talking to in character? Like, you can throw out anybody. I don't care. Who did you honestly think it was?
Well, looking at it, I guess Hallmark did cross my mind, but the fact that we hadn't seen him around was where my doubts were. But I didn't realize he was being devious and hiding himself like he was watching since the beginning, but he was just logged out so nobody could see his username. I was like, he planned that out very well with you, I have to admit. Besides that, I guess I was thinking on the lines of maybe, part of me thought his buddies like Jarek and Martin, but they're on another show now, so they're separated, doing the Chickbusters thing. But now I don't know. And there were even speculations that Grem was gonna team up with the Green Void again for some reason, but I don't even think they're on the same show again either. I can't remember.
They aren't.
They aren't, so that didn't work either. So yeah, Hallmark crossed my mind, but that's when I had my doubts. Like, well, he's not around. Why would he be brought back? I mean, much to my chagrin. But then there he was coming back, and despite anybody who had their assumptions, like I might have, it was still a shock, and it was still an amazing moment, possibly one of the best. And though you asked mainly about that, I also have to mention what happened with the Razor Sharp thing. You know a story's good when Razor Sharp fools Razor Sharp into thinking he's Crow. That's how good it is. And it was an amazing swerve that nobody saw coming. I think it was very well executed, and it definitely gives Razor Sharp some of that relevance he was looking for. So both of those moments were very well planned out and definitely took everybody by surprise. So I have to give both kudos on that, and just as a fan, it was very, very entertaining.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those were some really good moments that were planned out, and that's what I've been saying here lately is that I'm gonna try to make season 3 as story driven as possible, because I think that's what really separates the QZW product from really anything that you see in live streaming when it comes to eFeds, is just the depth that it goes to take the stories to that level. I'm not saying that I'm God, Vince Russo Attitude Era, par or anything like that. I mean, I'm just a dude that does stuff on a video game. But I try to take it to the next level and try to plan it out as best I can. I didn't really in season 2 because there was just so much stuff going on, and it was just kind of chaotic, and there was a lot of changes that went down, not only with QZW but with live streaming in general. There's a lot of stuff that got shuffled and mixed around, and maybe a little bit of touch of drama thrown in there scattered throughout the year. But I really feel that so far season 3 has really been amazing. I think it's the best season so far, and of course we're only 2 months in, so it's kind of stupid to say this, but I feel in those 2 months this is probably the best. I guess we're technically 3 months because we started back in December-ish, but I feel that this is kind of the best start for a new year that has ever happened so far. Maybe on par with, back in the 2009, 2010 days. Those were pretty good too, just because there were so many people involved in the Fire Pro Dungeon. But I think that this has been the best story-driven start to a new year for the eFed that has ever happened so far. And there's still just so much more stuff to come around the corner. I mean, there's still so many so many questions that are left unanswered every week that the show goes on. You see, people doing promos like doing this and doing that. What are they talking about? Who's coming back? Who's behind this? What's going on? What's going down? There's always something around the corner that's coming, and that's kind of what the deal is for season 3. I want to try to keep it going that way, but that's great. I'm glad that everyone reacted the way they did. When people react in a positive light like that, it makes me realize they appreciate the work that goes into it. And when I know that people appreciate the work that goes into it, it drives me to try to put out a better product each week so people can come and watch it. And it kind of works hand in hand. So that's really cool, and I'm glad that... and the reason why I even brought this up was because you were probably one of the you and Grim are probably the most outspoken about the whole Hallmark thing out of anybody. So I figured since you're here on the podcast, I might as well bring it up in person. But yeah, I think it went over really good. It was exactly what I was expecting out of both of those things that happened that night. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Ground Zero. I think it's going to be amazing. It's going to be fun as always. And I actually have an idea this year I'm going to be doing that I've never done before. And it's going to allow a little bit more expansion to Ground Zero. And it's something I've never done before. I'm going to try it out. I'm going to test it out, see how it all pans out. I don't have all the kinks worked out together just yet. But I still have, 14 days or so to get it all worked out and lined out. But anyways, so would you say that probably ranks in probably your top moments of eFedding since you've been around the Hallmark thing?
Well, yeah, it's definitely in some of my top QZW moments, especially, and yeah, eFedding in general, though QZW is mainly the one I watched. I may work with MUW, but I'm a big fan of QZW. So it's definitely up there because the whole night was unpredictable. Nobody saw what was coming, even with the assumptions. The way it happened was unexpected. The fact that Hallmark himself was back, not just as a character, was a big surprise factor. And I don't know what how everybody else feels, but when I see a moment happen and the chat explodes and everybody's yelling and talking and like freaking out, those are the moments that it feels like a real wrestling event because everybody's on their feet and freaking out. And that's how I felt during the Joey Hallmark return. And honestly, anytime he comes out, it feels like that right now. He's on fire coming back here, and I definitely put that at one of my top QZW moments. And I'm looking very forward to seeing what he's going to do next.
Were you around at all when it was Main Event Network and RCWF?
Not like I wasn't really aware of it. I think I had heard the name Main Event Network. I don't know if I tuned into much. I was kind of doing other things at the time, but I think when I was introduced to it, it was early QZW, but I didn't make a character yet. And honestly, the first EFED I ever watched was TCW back when that was a thing, because I remember the first match I saw had like Drew McIntyre in it or something like that. That's the most I remember. But then I came back, I think, several months after that, and that's when I signed up for QZW. But I don't know if I was mainly around for that kind of stuff. I've heard a lot about it. Many people have shared stories with me, but I don't think I was established in the community back then.
Okay. I was just wondering because for me a lot of the stuff just kind of rolls together over the years. I couldn't quite remember when you actually came in. Let's talk about marathons for a bit because we do have Zombchicken Mania coming up. You casters out there, marathon coming up. Right. So,
someone get the man a lozenge.
How many do you know of how many marathons you've actually been a part of since, your arrival into Zombchicken?
The first one that I myself was directly involved with was WrestleFest. Was that what it was called? WrestleFest?
Mm-hmm. Wrestle Week.
Yeah, because Wrestle Week. I played TNA on that, remember? And that was an interesting time. But other than that, I think I was also involved with the Stand for the Silent one, which was the anniversary. Mm-hmm. And then I was involved with the one after that, which was the December one, I believe.
I think that was Z-Day, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I was in Z-Day, and then I was in the Christmas related one.
Mm-hmm.
So I think about 4 or 5.
Okay. And actually, Wrestle Week was will be a year from Zombchicken Mania, because that was also WrestleMania week.
Yeah.
So, do you recall, like you said, you mentioned TNA, and I know you played a bunch of NES games for the what was it, the dual marathon that we did on both channels at the same time? Because
on Z-Day, yeah.
Yeah, Z-Day. I watched you do Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. What did you do for the Christmas one?
For Christmas, I played the Days Before Christmas, that one where I was playing as Santa Claus, and that fucked up game.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then after clearing that, I played a little bit of Super Godzilla.
Right, yeah.
And then I got salty at that bat one.
Okay, so Wrestle Week, and then what about the other one, the charity one? Do you remember what you did in that one?
I believe I think I casted 2 or 3 days of that one. I played because I played Broforce. I think is the first one I did. And then I was gonna play Back to the Future, and then that kind of backfired because XSplit was being weird with me, and it just kept. I don't know if it was Twitch or if it was XSplit or a combination of the both, but it just wasn't working. My cast kept stopping and restarting, and it just wouldn't work. So I had Keo hop on and help me, and we played that Bloody Trapland game, which was kind of like an I Want to Be the Guy game with 2 people, and that was interesting. As for anything else, I'm not sure if I did anything besides those. Maybe it was just 2 days. No. I played Super Meat Boy my first one. So, yeah, that was 3 different times.
All right, so there's quite a few people that are hearing this live right now and may end up hearing this on once it's on YouTube. Tell these people out there that have never done a marathon how easy it is to get involved.
Really, it's as simple as getting a trial version of XSplit or one of those other casting softwares which
OBS
doesn't really take up a whole
for free.
OBS, yeah, or even one of those really old crappy ones. Just get something that works. Get a game either on an emulator or on your Steam or just something simple. Play tic-tac-toe or something. I don't know. You just be there. You cast for a little while, even an hour. An hour makes a difference because it's an hour that you're contributing. It's as easy as coming to Tad and saying, "Hey, I want to help out for a little bit. I'll play this from here if I have time. Like if that's how you fit in the schedule, because we always have a schedule for the marathons. You just try to find something easy enough to play. Make sure that it'll work for you. Test it so you won't have much trouble, and just show up for maybe a day or two and play a game. It's really fun and it gets everybody involved."
Right. Because I feel if I try to tell people this, they're just kind of like, oh, whatever. He's just promoting his event, whatever. Nah. But I feel if other people try to say it, they're like, oh, okay, so this isn't really actually Tad saying this. This is somebody else saying this. Okay, so it must be actually kind of easy and it's really laid back and all this.
Yeah, and I got to tell you though, one of the most the best ones for me was when we did the charity event for Stand for the Silent. It was my first ever charity itself that I had ever been a part of. We raised over $1,000 by the end of it, and I got to tell you, that was one of the best feelings ever. Not only was it the 2-year anniversary of Zombspawn, but we also raised $1,000 for children who are being bullied. And maybe not all of our marathons are charity events, but even when they're not, it promotes goodwill and being kind to others and getting involved. It's just positive energy. And sometimes we do charity events. If you get involved with those, then you're helping a good cause as well. So really, there is no negative aspect to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and anytime you have an event, a major event like that, where you get everybody under the same channel, you're gonna have a little bit of drama. You're gonna have a little bit of beef that goes down, and you just deal with it. You deal with it, and you move on. And that's just the way it is. You're not gonna go to some place and not have, quote unquote, that guy be there to try to disrupt some stuff. And I'm not pointing any fingers at all. I'm just saying, just from a generic standpoint, you're always gonna have that guy that shows up at the party and is just like, and you just deal with it. But the only reason I'm bringing this up right now is because I know a few people were just kind of turned off on the fact of, anytime there's a major event, there's always drama. Well, I mean, do you ever go to a party and there's not drama? Do you ever go to a family reunion, there's not drama? Do you ever go to a major sporting event, there's not drama? I mean, come on, you're going to get all these people together. The percentage of having one person try to disrupt some stuff is going to increase, as compared to a solo guy casting in his own channel. It's just the way it works. But you don't let that affect you. You don't let that mess up the event or anything like that and cause bad mojo to go down. And there won't be any bad mojo. It's going to be a lot of fun. Especially with the fact that everybody seems to be streaming mostly on their own channels these days, for the most part. It'll be nice to actually see all these people who are now split up and on their own places actually come back under one roof again, myself included. I mean, hell, when's the last time I streamed on Zombspawn on Twitch? That's been September probably was the last time I streamed over there. And I'll be streaming there for the marathon. It makes it a more monumentous. It makes it more prestigious when it's like, oh wow, everyone's coming back to this main channel again. And hopefully we get Sean Broderick to come back, stream over there for the marathon. Hopefully we get Raji come in there, stream there. And I'm also lining up, getting a lot of fresh new people involved. I've been meeting a lot of brand new people here over the past month
since Zombchicken started the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and I've been promoting the hell out of the marathon, trying to get people involved, trying to get some new, fresh people interested, and I think we're going to have some if everything goes the way it should. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So that's where I come in and tell you established folks out there who know how the process goes, who have been in so many marathons before. You're going to be the glue, because you're the ones that the marathon relies on to get times filled in, and then outside of that, then we add in the new people on top of that, and it just creates a giant variety of awesome streamers, new and old, veteran and newcomer alike, streaming all kinds of stuff, all kinds of genres from all different platforms. So that's going to be amazing, and this is kind of a casual reminder to those that have usually been in our marathons to start thinking about getting your times in, because I mean it does happen the same weekend as WrestleMania, and we all know how close that's coming. I mean, it's literally in like 6 weeks, pretty much. But yeah, that's the marathon deets for Zomspawn. Yeah, I got to get my time slots in. Here I am telling everybody else to get theirs, and I haven't even got mine yet. But I don't like taking times up. I usually just like taking the stuff that's left over. But anyways, there's your marathon promotion.
Check raid call chat.
What's that?
Times on raid call chat.
Oh boy, looky there.
Yeah.
Gil,
I'll talk to you about that also later.
Gil has already joined the marathon with his time slots. How about that? All right. Let's go ahead and cut into Grimm's questions now. Here we go. Question 1. Did you eat pizza in honor of National Pizza Day?
I don't even remember, and I feel ashamed to say this, I don't remember when National Pizza Day was, and unfortunately, I haven't had pizza in the longest time, and I'm having my cravings, believe me, but no, unfortunately I haven't.
Okay. If so or not, what did or would you have gotten?
I like myself a meat lover's pizza, which has like hamburger, sausage, pepperoni, and lots of cheese. Those are my favorite kinds. I'm not a big fan of vegetables on pizza, to be honest.
Okay. How does it feel to hear the cooler version of Duke Dice when people talk about you?
Well, I actually haven't been hearing much of that lately, but it's definitely something I heard ever since I first came in, and then I actually started feuding with him. The more over version of Duke, even when I don't have the belt, people have said, and like I'm laughing at this, but honestly, I feel like, especially with our feuds, Duke and I have established ourselves as very different characters. But yeah, I understand we have the same taste in hats and whatnot. It's kind of funny, and we do have a lot of stories together, and we've even teamed up and all that, all the Virgil stuff too. It's definitely, I can see where the comparisons come in, but I feel like our feuds are what have established us as individuals. But it's always kind of funny, though, to hear me be compared and contrasted with him.
Can you please explain to the class why green is the best color ever?
Well, because it's a mixture of a couple of cool colors, and not only that, it's half the colors that represent Christmas. It represents grass. It represents vegetables, which are good for kids. It represents trees. It represents pretty eyes. And it represents turtles, because turtles are cool. And, yeah, it's just, there's a lot of great stuff that are green, and you should just like the color green.
How would you rank your time in QZW career-wise? Use a scale between 1 and 10.
Honestly, ever since I came in, I feel like I've had a lot of good opportunities. You know, I started off not very established. I've alluded to this in Season 1 because I was new. Didn't know what I was doing too much. But then Season 2 came in. I got myself more established. People liked watching me. And I liked watching myself. My matches were good, and I had a lot of good moments. As a whole, I rank my career right now as probably about a 7.5.
Are you excited or worried on how the Biohazard Championship division has shaped up?
I'm excited because, like I said before, it was mostly just me and Duke. And while that was great because we had our feuds, we had a lot of great matches and stories, it was nice to see more guys step up, like Butcher Pete, even Danny Chambers, and even some new faces coming in and kicking my ass or Duke's ass or everybody's ass. It's great. And I really think that with more people in the division, it'll be a lot more of an interesting time. So I'm definitely excited. I can't wait to see where the division goes from here.
All right. One-word answers to the following. First word that comes to your mind. Starting with Tad Peters. The QZW Tad Peters.
Yes, nightmare.
Okay. The streamer Tad Peters.
Funny.
Wow, thank you. Joey Hallmark.
Happy.
John Chaos.
Ass knocker.
Nathan Moore.
Shovels.
Butcher Pete.
Meat.
Jarek Vanders.
Red.
Martin Starr.
Underrated.
Raji.
Smelly.
Gil Thunderstrike.
America.
Timothy Chen.
Racist.
Wait, what?
I'm just kidding. I was talking about the rice hat.
Oh. Oh. Jesus.
No, let me give a legit answer on that one. Hat. I
Okay.
got nothing. I'm sorry.
All right. Doug Beveris. Just say asshole.
Canada.
Buzz.
Beard.
Outlaw.
Nash.
The Reich.
9.
Tad's Retro Week from last week.
Sonic.
No. Question 8. If you were to pick anyone from Livewire to form a tag team with, who would it be and why?
Anybody from Livewire? Well, that's a good question because there's a lot of great guys on Livewire, but and though a lot of people think me and Duke would have good chemistry as a tag team, with the way things are with us in our contrast, I don't know how well that would work. Even though we did do pretty well as a team the last time we teamed, which was a couple weeks ago, I think, or a few weeks ago. But as for people now, I'd honestly like to team up with a newer guy, like because the rising stars, you could say. Looking at the roster itself, because there's a lot of names on there that are kind of underrated. Honestly, I wouldn't mind teaming up with the guy who kicked my ass. Is George's guy? Why am I forgetting his name all of a sudden?
James Earl Cash.
James Earl Cash. Honestly, I would not mind teaming with him.
Okay. If you were to... Alright, same question, but for Contagion.
Honestly, gotta say Grem. I know he's done a lot of teams, and I know that he's been in many factions and whatnot, but he and I are a lot alike, not just as people, but our characters are fun-loving and do have really good matches, and we're always striving to do better. I feel like he and I would make a killer tag team.
Okay. If you didn't have your eye on the Biohazard title, what title would you go after and why?
Now, I could be egotistical and say the QZW title, but there's a lot of guys that are, fighting for it now, and very deserving guys. So, and I don't really know if my character's ready yet. Only time will tell that. But another thing that's been on my mind, and I've said this a couple times, the tag titles would be an interesting shift for my character if I find someone to team up with and go after all these new teams, because the tag division has grown so immensely that I really am excited about it. Like, legitimately, all the divisions have grown, but it'd be very interesting to see if I could team up with somebody and go to the top.
Okay. How excited are you for Ground Zero?
I'm really excited, not only just for the pay-per-view, but also for the chat event, because like I said, I was in it last year. It was a lot of fun. We had some really good moments. I love watching what people do, people just screwing around or even just trying to win it. I don't know how I do in it, but I'm really excited for it.
Who do you think will win?
Graham.
Since I have a feeling you said Graham, who else has a great chance at winning Ground Zero?
I think it's a lot of matter of the rolls, because the dice can be very, very good or bad to somebody. Anybody besides Graham, I'd put my own name on there only because I think everybody has a chance. But really, I'd like to see, somebody who's returned, or maybe even an obscure guy. Now, I don't know if Joey Hallmark is entering this year, but if he did, I'd like to see him win it.
Okay. We've seen 2 big surprises over in Contagion, which we talked about. What do you think will be the OMG moment on Livewire?
The only thing I can think of is the dethroning of Outlaw as the QZW champion.
Okay. Would you wear any other kind of hat? We already covered that one. Who do you think has been an improvement over on Shimmer Brand, and why?
Well, giving the women their own show in general was a really cool thing, because I know Shimmer was a thing back in the day. And, having their own titles, watching underrated women that were, scratching and clawing with the men back then. To see them on their own show doing awesome, like the Dungeon of Doom winning the tag belts, that was great. And also seeing some real life people mixed in, it causes controversy and it causes, story. It's good to see Goddess Dawn still going there, Yamashita Baharu, Julie, all of them, Rasher. I like the contrast. I like where the stories have been going. I think Shimmer as a whole was a big improvement.
Okay. Next gen will be starting up soon with returning superstars and new ones. If you could pick, who would you select and why?
Oh, yeah, I gotta see the list on that. Hang on. I'm on the QZW page right now.
A lot of people have brought up, I think it's Jake the Cake Roberts.
Yeah, I'm seeing this. All these amazing names. You wonder what they're gonna look like and who they're gonna be. Like if I read like just a few that really caught my eye. One would be Cthulhu the Putrid. That looks awesome. Yeah, Jake the Cake Roberts. I can't imagine what he's going to look like. Gary the Frog. Mr. Crackers. Holy shit, I cannot wait for that.
Hi, guys. I'm going to be on next gen soon.
Jesus.
Merry Christmas.
And the Slender has been alluded to a couple times. I'm wondering what he's going to look like, because if it's like a white Glitton Ermine in a suit or something like that, I don't know. But there's a lot of them. If I were to choose just one, though, honestly, because of what he's done as just on your casts as a character that became his own thing, Mr. Crackers. I want to see where Mr. Crackers will go in next gen.
I like you too, Spence. Howdy-ho.
Woohoo!
He's kind of related to the Christmas Pooh from South Park. But
Mr. Hanky, yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of related to Mr. Hanky, but not... He's related through cousins. So, that's how that... Anyways, that'll probably be explained later on. Anyways, let's see. Did you see how much Tad raged during Sonic... What the fuck? Really, Grim?
Really?
Did you see how much Tad raged during Sonic 3 while in Shit Fest Central Carnival douchebag zone? If yes or no, do you feel that stage music should be somewhat Steve Saka? Ah!
Okay. Well, yes, for starters, I did see it because I was there for most of that cast, and I could see how much it was getting on Tad's nerves. But as far as if somebody would get it for a theme song in QZW, I can guarantee it that if someone gets that song, they are going to be jobbing to Tad Peters for a very long time.
Oh my god, that level.
Wait, what did he have problems with in Casino Zone?
Not Casino,
Everything.
not Casino Zone. It was Carnival Night Zone from Sonic 3.
You do know that to use those spinny things, you use the D-pad, right?
He figured it out.
Yeah.
You did remember to read the manual, right?
He was playing the Genesis collection.
It was actually in the manual.
I don't read
Well,
that
fuck
shit.
me. I don't know why he didn't read.
I ain't got time for that shit.
RTFM.
That's the first. I played Sonic 1 and 2 back to back, then I play Sonic 3, and then suddenly here's a big fucking thing where it's like, use your D-pad. That's the first thing in all the Sonic games you had to actually use your D-pad for, and here it is, this big fucking thing that's rotating around, like, and then finally, after 30 minutes of douching around on the fucking thing, someone in chat, you know you gotta use your D-pad up and down, right? It's like, what the fuck?
Wait,
I didn't have to use that at all in Sonic 1 and Sonic 2.
You didn't use the D-pad at all in 1 and 2? How'd
No!
you move?
I used my
He has
toggle.
a control stick.
Yeah.
He's playing on an Xbox skill.
Yeah.
Oh, then that thing should also work.
And then
And that is why you never go outside your comfort zone when streaming.
All I can say is, if anyone does get that song, may Tad have mercy on you.
No. Thing is, Sonic 1 was long and hard, Kappa, but it was enjoyable. Sonic 2 was absolutely amazing. I love Sonic 2. I really do love Sonic 2. Sonic 3 can die in a fucking fire with acid AIDS needles stabbed into it. I don't care. That game sucks. It's terrible. Never again. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Ever, 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 ever,
Did
never,
you play as
ever.
Sonic in that?
What?
It's a lot easier if you get the Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and you can play as either Knuckles or Tails. It's a lot easier when you can fly.
But
I'll
there's
say
more.
that
Have
if you
that
wanna
option.
But there's more levels added to that one. Why do I want to play more of
That's
it?
supposed to be the full game.
I don't
supposed
want
to
to
be
play
the
the
full
full
game.
game. I played the trial version. It sucked. Why would I want to play the full game?
Maybe they fixed everything.
Oh.
Bug testing, quality assurance. I gotta get back to this homework.
All right. What is a game Spence loves to play, or is there a game you're looking forward to coming out?
Well, I already said what I was looking forward to coming out, but as far as games I like to play, as of late, it's kind of been the ones I talk about. But if I want to go back to old school games for a second here, because unlike Mr. Peters here, I have always been like big on the retro stuff. That's my comfort zone. But I'll just say my favorite game of all time is Super Mario RPG Legends of the Seven Stars, and that's on the Super Nintendo. That's one I play pretty much year round, and it never gets old. So that's something I like to play.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, is there anything I missed, or is there anything you'd like to add or comment about, or anything like that?
My only thing, I guess, would be to, well, this is more like a comment towards what you've been doing as of late, because honestly, the whole Zombchicken thing, we had, when you mentioned that you were planning to do your own thing again on not on the other website anymore, we're wondering if you're just going to go back to Zomspawn, but then you opened up the chicken, and then you kind of went with it. You added the chicken stuff to it, the clucks and all that, and I personally, I love the format that you're taking with it. Like, just as a comment, I love the music you're using in it. I love the games you're playing. You've had some great moments, and honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing what you're going to do next.
Well, thank you. I've had a blast so far. I'm only let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm only 7 streams in, and Retro Week was what launched it. And last night I did Gauntlet and beat that to completion. Tonight is Smite with multiplayer, and then of course QZW, and then I'll be back on Fallout 3 this week. And then Josh D will be stepping in the guest stream on Friday night. So, and then, still to come around the corner, I'll be reliving my WWF SmackDown series again. And doing some Gears of War and stuff like that. So it should be fun.
Forklift.
Huh?
All right, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to what else is cooking in February. It should be fun. And then, if anyone has any indication as well, sorry, I got lost of words here. But if any indication is from what I've done so far on the other site, there should be a lot of great moments. I haven't even started on my intro video yet. So, with this upcoming week in the bag, I should have a ton of moments accumulated over the streams, of which will include a lot of retro BSery. Anyways, thank you for your comments, Spence. I've had a fun time streaming here on this channel. But yes, I guess it is time for the QZW report with Gil, so here we go, handing it off to you. I'm not passing it. It's not the Super Bowl. I'm going to hand it off to you.
Right, because we don't have Nate for a quarterback. Okay.
No, we have Rasher now, and we're actually doing good, although our game on Wednesday versus Texas is going to be the most important game in the season so far. They're like number 8 ranked, and it's also a conference game. So, yeah, we're going to keep Rasher in as starting QB and hope to God we don't get squashed. But anyways, as you were saying?
You mean you're not going to put Big Bob in there?
Rasher did very well in the game last week against Oklahoma State. So,
all right, we start on Shimmer, where we have a debut. Chow Chow defeated Flower Child. Has Flower Child ever won a match?
I don't believe so. Not yet. In Season 3.
This was a tag match. She's never won, so, standard affair. I don't remember much of it. 3 stars. And then we had Sonya Virchinen and Jade Sangreal versus the Dungeon of Doom in a tag title match for some reason. And unfortunately, it ended in a fuck all logic DQ. So I can't really give it any higher than 2 stars because, screw logic. Brawl to the back. Dungeon of Doom get disqualified for Sonya and Jade getting 5 counted. So, yeah. How does that work?
I don't know. I don't think anybody knows.
And for the main event, we have a real good explanation, or a good test subject of why Rita Caliendo is not a good GM when it comes to making matches. This matchup was supposed to, I believe the quote was, definitively get a number 1 contender. And so you triple gimmick this match, so you have absolutely no chance of that happening. And guess what? It didn't. First off, it's a fatal 4-way, which means 2 people might not get involved in the finish. It's first to 2 falls. It's not even 2 out of 3 falls. The worst case scenario is that there were 5 falls and the quote-unquote definitive number 1 contender lost 60% of them. And then they made it falls count anywhere for some reason and no DQ. So Yamashita Maharu wins with a... she hit Julie with the Eat Defeat in the ring and then did a Hurricanrana on the outside. And people grumbled. This got 1 star because of just all the rules that were just not there for this match to be anywhere near it.
Before you step over to the next show, I just want to, I'm seeing some comments in the chat. I just would like to clarify that Sean Libby was out with a dislocated shoulder in the game last week with Oklahoma State. He was out for the rest of the game, and Sean Bretherick was starting back, but he is cleared to play in this week's game. So, okay, back to you.
So yeah, basically, Maharu is the number 1 contender. nothing really got settled except, Julie got pinned twice, so I guess, Rasher got us done. Vault in 0 falls, now don't have a title shot. Although, there is the Intercontinental belt, someone wants to be a pioneer there. Next up at the Livewire, we saw another Nightmare match where we saw the re-debut of Dark Phantom. I missed this match, but I heard Nathan Moore won. So it's going to go unrated unless either of you two watched it.
I watched it. Oh, of course he watched it.
Was it any good?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, Nathan Moore pretty much dominated it the whole time though.
Even with Tad Peters in Dark Phantom's corner.
Yep.
Interesting, Nathan Cena.
I'd give it
I'll
probably a
give
2.5, a 3.
Yeah, usually I don't like giving 2.5 because it doesn't flow as well as 3 for average. Then again, I really don't like giving out 0 stars unless something has really gone wrong. Next up is Johnny Rago versus Curtis Rivers versus Kenji Masters. Johnny Rago wins, getting his first ever win. That means he's 1-1 with Kenji Masters, and Rivers is 0-2. So, great to have such aggressive and passionate young lions.
Also, just to add on to that, I believe Johnny Rago and Kenji Masters are now officially a tag team, from what I'm being hearing. So
they were talking about that.
So yeah, Livewire Tag Division. Guess what? Surprise, motherfucker.
Maybe they'll beat the Far Beyond Better this week. But they won't because FBB are cowards. More on that later. Next up, we had Butcher Pete defeating Duke Dice. This was pretty much an upset, I think. Not on the fact that Butcher Pete isn't a monster, he is, but if you ever go back through most of Butcher Pete's history, apart from that one time he won, I think he won an MUW title, and I think did he just win he just won the Hardcore title on here.
Yes.
Butcher Pete's not big on championships. He's usually the guy you must go through to get to a championship shot. So it's very odd when I see Butcher Pete really get a big win over a champion, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So
and he dominated him too. There was basically no offense from Duke whatsoever.
I think Duke Dice did hit a Sigfin at one point, but it wasn't enough. But I'll give this 3.5 stars. Then we have Green Void versus Showtime Brooks, a match where I missed because I went to go get something to eat, I believe. I don't remember much about this match.
It was less bullshitty than the last match they had.
Less bullshitty, but I don't think anyone cared.
Brooks got hit with
Brooks
a
was
tombstone and he lost 1-2-3. But it was a very quick match again.
And going back to what you said last week, Brooks did not come out to discuss Far Beyond Better. In fact, there was no discussing of the whole thing, except I think Razor Sharp had a program somewhere in Contagion. So maybe Showtime Brooks, just has that thing on his a tag. Oh, I'm with Far Beyond Better, but I'm not really. It is easy to get behind Brooks when he's getting bullied around by Green Void. 2.5 stars. Next up, we have a 4-way in the Young Lions division, featuring The Knight, Marcus Ferdinand, Zach Hero, and Sid Phoenix. It was a tables match, and it's a fairly good tables match. Feel sorry for Marcus Ferdinand. He escapes 3 table shots only to be somewhere else when Zach Hero gets put through a table. Not a very good night for Far Beyond Better. I will say this. It looks like Sid Phoenix might be heading for a title shot. The question is, when was the last time he's got a title shot? I don't think ever. I think he might have gotten a hardcore title shot once, but geez.
So did Jade Sangreal.
I think he had something back in RCWF, Sid Phoenix did, but not in QZW.
Even then, I don't remember it. I don't remember ever seeing Sid Phoenix, even when he was in the coming in dry phase of RCWF.
He got pinned by, I think you were right about the Hardcore Championship chance, but I think in that same match, Jade Sangreal pinned him.
All right, that was good. Better than expected. 3.5 stars. Then we had a 6-way ladder match because gimmicks galore. Volano defeated Silva, Hardcore, Zaz, Height, and Mage. Who keeps signing Hardcore? Now that it's Zombchicken we're on, Hardcore's never going to go away.
He's the friggin' mascot, man.
Even though his mind left 2 years ago. But the dude, big fan of Hardcore. the Chickens, a big fan of hardcore. Unfortunately, I think the dude was cursing out DJ Silva, saying he was going to hell for distracting hardcore. Silva was distracting him by getting beat up by hardcore, so it's like kicking him when he's down. Thanks, dude. Although he was like, I think only 2 people, Villano and hardcore, ever grabbed the case during this match. So, Villano definitely wants the title opportunity against Cole. Definitely willing to strategize. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll see another ladder match down the way. I would say this was match of Livewire for 4 stars. And now the main event. Far Beyond Better versus the Reich. No, wait, we came out and stopped the Reich. So it's Far Beyond Better versus Freedom Force. No, wait,
Nope.
Some bikers come behind us. And, they're learning from the best. Attack people, get in matches, just like we did a week ago, or a month ago.
Surprise, motherfucker.
So it's Far Beyond Better versus DOA, which is Ace Spades and Luke Lawrence. I'll be honest, I knew it was Ace Spades in that team. I did not know Luke Lawrence was in that team. But Far
Luke
Beyond Better
Grenfell.
get pinned by Ace Spades. And now they're cowards. It was like, well, we're just going to go hide away in our taco truck and sulk. It was like, you could just try, jumping the Reich backstage. Have you ever tried that? We did it twice, and it worked out pretty well for us. But it's just like, you're cowards now. You did this whole thing when RCFBF invaded. Oh, it's not our problem anymore. And then you lost the tag titles. And who had to clean up your mess? Me. And Duke, sort of, but no one cares about Duke. But DOA, never had teamed before. And, that's an impressive victory, coming out of nowhere to beat the tag champs. And they've definitely made a claim. I mean, now there's 3 teams that can claim, hey, we've either beat the champions one-on-one straight up, or in a cage match, or through 2 triple threat matches. Why don't we have a tag title match? The tag title scene is very hot, and you can't hide forever Far Beyond Better, whether it be from us or the Reich or DOA. I don't think running away is going to help you here. 3.5 stars for this match.
I give your promo a 3.5 stars as well.
Thank you. Next up is Crusher defeating Rogue by DQ. I don't like DQ We had 3 DQ finishes.
Jesus!
That's because, well, did you see what happened?
Yeah, John Chaos beat him down. Wait.
Well, John Chaos Eddie Guerrero'd him with the chair.
Oh, that's right. All right, that's right. He did the Eddie Guerrero spot.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought John Chaos just came out and beat him up. For some reason. Oh.
He was the ass knocker.
He
Well, that comes
ass-knocked
later.
Rogue and let Crusher win.
Non-finish, but still, Crusher won. Always great.
I give it 4 stars
Rios.
for an Eddie Guerrero spot.
Agreed. Next up, we have the tag team of Chaos and Dr. Payne versus William James and Vlad Alcard. Still love Dr. Payne's theme, that maniacal laugh. I do love laughing maniacally when I'm alone. Chaos is still untouchable. How does he keep being untouchable? Although I think Dr. Payne got the pin here.
Yeah, he did.
So, it's turned into, how for the television division, we have a champion that's really dominant, but no one cares because he's an asshole. But for the hardcore division, we have a champion that's very dominant, but everyone wants to see that champion. Whether they want to see him lose or see him do good. It's so different when it's the hardcore division compared with the television, which I believe is firmly cursed now.
So who do you... Alright, hold on. Did we have a TV anything match coming up that you're going to talk about, or no?
We do. It went to a no contest, so that's 4 DQ/no contest.
Alright, keep going, and I'll comment on it when we get to it.
Next matchup, Chris Jones versus Mike Metal. It went to a no contest because I
right.
believe Scipio came out.
Right, okay. Alright. Yeah, well, if you remember, Mike Metal had some pretty disparaging things to say to Scipio a couple weeks back. About telling him, it was a waste of time, go back to wherever you came from. I think
Before the show.
I think he hurt his feelings. And so what do you expect Scipio to do? He's going to come out there and chokeslam Mike Metal to the table.
and ruin his shot at getting a title chance.
Scipio, was betrayed by Mike Metal.
Yeah.
And then he was run down. Definitely you've awakened a sleeping giant here.
Meanwhile, now let's talk about Chris Jones and the title that you say is cursed. So who should get the shot then?
John Broderick.
with his new stunt double.
I don't know who should get a title shot. I mean, let's see. Who of those in that whoever didn't get pinned in that triple threat match?
It had to have been Chrono or Little Jack.
I think that was Chrono. And Chris Jones versus
it was
Chrono?
Little Jack, actually.
Little Jack didn't get pinned?
Yeah, well, but he was the last one pinned.
Yeah, Little Jack.
I keep forgetting that we don't have any regular thing.
Little Jack did the little leg drop on Chrono to eliminate him, and then Sean Broderick eliminated Little Jack to win. So it was domino effect.
And if you look at it like this, though, yeah, it's true. Like, you wonder who's gonna get it, but Broderick, I think, was the closest to winning it as far as Jones's most recent title matches.
He was. It was a very close match. It really was.
If not outright, I would definitely give a shot to get a chance at a title match to Little Jack, because he technically, if you arranged it by that match, he would be number 2 contender and then number 1 lost. I think Little Jack deserves a chance to prove himself worthy of getting a television shot.
Well, people always bring up the fact that he has 3 clean wins over a QZW World Heavyweight Champion.
One of those was, I'm pretty sure 2 of those were DQ wins where he got killed.
Okay, so maybe not 3 clean wins, but he has 3 wins.
Now that's true, but he has been injured, and ring rust. Has he come back 100%?
And then he lost to Sean Broderick.
Again, true. And he did also lose to Ted Peters near the end of the season, if you count the Empire events.
So basically what we're getting at is someone else needs to come to QZW and get rid of Chris Jones once and for all.
I think we should. I would love to see Chris Jones versus Little Jack tomorrow and see if Little Jack can prove himself worthy.
Interesting.
We'll have to see how it pans out.
No contest gets no stars because I hate no contests. Although I will bump it up to a half star because someone got chokeslammed through a table.
And it was Mike Metal.
The Dudley half star. Next up is Mr. Troop over Donovan Payne. Shock. I did not expect Northern Troop to bounce back the way Abe did. Getting a win over Donovan Payne. I don't remember if it was 2 years ago or 1 year ago, but Donovan Payne was major hyped back at Ground Zero or Nowhere to Hide. One of those 2 events. So, usually he tries to get at his A game around this time, but Mr. True, came back with the big win there, 3.5 stars, and Graham versus Domino versus Big D ended in DQ. We had a triple threat end in DQ. Okay.
Yeah, you want to know why?
Because it was a 10-car pileup. First off,
yes.
Josh D comes out and kills Graham. Then Hallmark comes off and
wait. No. Hold on. You forgot the first part of it.
No.
You forgot how it all started. Domino left the ring to get a chair, and he was going to hit Grim with it. Then, you can go.
No, I forgot that part. I thought it started
Josh D
with...
came out and took the chair from Domino, but then whacked Grim with it.
Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
And then Domino left
that's right.
for a minute.
Hallmark came off and chased off Josh.
Yeah.
Then Domino came back and beat down Giggles Inc.
Yeah.
And posed on the ramp. Or not the ramp, the turnbuckle.
And flipped him
and
off.
Then Big D came back. Big D came back and laid him out with the title. So
all hell broke loose.
Big D gets his theme played, still loses by disqualification.
Sure. I think everybody lost by disqualification.
The only people who won were the
except
fans.
no, except Graham, because Graham's the only one who didn't. Graham's the only one who didn't attack somebody.
And Josh is the only one who got out alive.
Well,
That's
Big D
ironic.
did.
Oh,
No
yeah.
one attacked Big D.
Right, Big
So
D
the
did.
D's are the D's in collusion.
Everybody else was dead by the time Big T got up.
Is Big D and Josh D gonna finally form those D boys?
Double D's.
2.5 stars.
Though that is the end of the report. Honestly, guys, there is one thing I want to bring up because it was honestly one of the funniest parts of the whole show for me, and that was Sean Broderick's search for a stunt double.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. We have two things
Yeah.
to talk about. First, we're going to talk about the stunt double. I believe we saw Chucky and
Tusk Blubberson. Sean!
Yeah.
yep, Tusk trying to get back on the show any way he can,
ZFL,
and someone
Japan.
else.
ZFL Japan, ZFL
Paper
Japan.
Bag Man was Paper Bag Man was the first guy to come in.
And I don't know what happened to Paperback Man, but he got a lot whinier.
Yeah.
He was all stoic and dark, and I have taken this finished person and I've bagged him, and now he's over there without a bag, and I'm so alone.
Now he's a friggin' narcissist.
Is he Lex Luger? Is Paperback Man Lex Luger?
He lost
He's not
his
buffing.
partner, so yes, he's going to be upset.
Yeah, Marcus got his bag removed.
Yeah. Marcus's
I was
bag
hoping when he would just shout, "I don't know," like Lex Luger.
Marcus's bag dropped finally.
Kappa.
Okay,
Son of a
and the
bitch.
other thing we're going to talk about is Outlaw calling out his challengers, calling them boys. Like, Outlaw.
Commentator Virgil didn't help much during that segment, did he?
Well, I think Outlaw just ignored him. Like, I think everyone ignores Virgil in their own unique way, unless they're talking about Chaos versus Rogue for the title. But Outlaw showing some arrogance. He got past Buzz, and now he's untouchable in his mind. Do you think that might fire up the competitors even more?
I don't know if it's gonna matter. I mean, he seems
They
pretty.
already want to whip his ass.
I think everybody. I think there's two people. I think there's three people. I think there's four people in QZW that everyone wants to kick their ass right now. One is Chris Jones. Two is Outlaw. Three is Mike Metal. And four is Josh D. And maybe five, as a side accessory, is Archangel. So yes,
No one wants to beat up Hair Wolfgang.
and that's bad too because they're Nazis, and I would rank those four higher
I want
than
to
them.
beat them up.
But wouldn't you rather beat Outlaw or Chris Jones instead?
Either beat
So
Outlaw and
we're
Chris Jones
comparing
with
Chris Jones
using
and
Hair
Outlaw
Wolfgang.
to
He'll just grab his
Nazis.
body and throw him into them.
I think it says something
And
that
before they both join the Reich.
I think it says something that two guys have more heel heat in QCW than actual Nazis do right now.
That's some fucked up priorities, man.
That's some fucked up. Whatever Chris Jones and Outlaw and Josh D are doing right now, man, you're more evil than
They
the
were
Nazis.
Nazis before it was cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Note that two of them are over on Contagion.
So they're the the Axis connection. They're the Japanese, I guess. I don't know.
Access of righteousness.
Oh yeah, Green Void. How could I forget him? Everyone wants to whoop him. Like a little boy.
Boy.
And that was the QZW report, because I don't think any new matches were made.
Nope.
No. Alright, well, that'll do it for the podcast this week. Thanks everybody for listening. Coming up in a few minutes will be Smite multiplayer. So if you have that game, feel free to join us. That'll be tonight's game. Tonight's game of the night. Just another reminder that Zombspawmania will be coming up. WrestleMania weekend over at Zombspawn. I'm taking time slots now for anyone who wants to stream in it. Doesn't matter if you have a capture card. Doesn't matter if you're streaming from the PS4 or the Xbox One. Everybody is allowed to join in and have fun. Just let me know. Skype PM me, Twitter PM me, or email me. My email can be found by scrolling down here on the channel, as well as all my other information. So if anyone is interested in streaming in the marathon, let me know. That's kind of the big news right now. Also, this Wednesday will be the next game in Zombspun College Football. We're taking on Texas. They're number 8 ranked in the Dynasty. It is by far the most important game that we've done so far. We already have one loss by 1 point due to...
By one player.
Yes, by one player. But I feel that Texas is a much superior team than any other team we faced so far, so it's going to be very, very intense. And that'll be taking place this Wednesday here at Zombchicken. Another announcement is that there is a stream set for Thursday the 12th of this week, which is deemed as Fallout 3 Part 2. That stream may not happen. So if you come here on Thursday expecting to see the second half of Fallout 3 and it's not here, don't act surprised. That night is being a bit iffy with me right now. I will post it on Zombchicken at Twitter, at Zombchicken, and I will let people know whether or not it will happen Thursday morning. So that stream may be off this week. Just letting you know now. And then on Friday the 13th, yes, I repeat, Friday the 13th, this Friday, Josh D will be stepping in the guest stream here at Zombchicken. I think he'll be doing some League of Legends. I'm not sure, but he will be tuning in there. So, and of course, QZW as always on Tuesday. Ground Zero, the chat room, AOL chat room, Dice Royal Rumble match will be on Tuesday the 24th. That'll be the next QZW pay-per-view. So, anyone who wants to be in the AOL chat Rumble, be sure to let me know in some capacity. There's only 40 participants in it this year, so spots are going to definitely be limited. So if you
I want to be in it.
All right, if you want in, you need to let me know ASAP. And Skype PM me, or PM me somehow, because I will forget, because I go through a lot of stuff. But yeah, if you're interested in that, let me know in some capacity where the message won't go away or float away. Make sure I see it so I can mark you in. And of course, probably outside of the marathon next month, the biggest news right now, for me at least, is the 21st through the 22nd this month, right here on Zombchicken. I'll be doing a 24-hour Resident Evil marathon. If you guys have never heard or seen one of these before, what it is I'll be playing non-stop 24 hours, one full day, no breaks, no stops, other than to maybe get some food or cook some food. I won't be leaving anywhere. I'll just be preparing food and using the bathroom and stuff through that 24 hours. Non-stop right here on Zombchicken. That'll be 21st through the 22nd. For a full 24 hours. I'll be doing Resident Evil 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, Code Veronica, Gun Survivor, Revelations 2, 5, and maybe the Leon Kennedy part of 6 as well. So there's a lot of games that's going to be being done. It's going to be a celebration, I guess, of me breaking 200 follows here at Zombchicken. But anyways, that's pretty much the announcements coming up for the rest of February. Thank you, Spence, for joining me for podcast number 10 here at Zombie Talk.
Thanks for having me.
And next week's Zombie Talk, we'll have Jay Hare on. You can begin asking him questions as soon as later tonight when the question thread is posted. And then on the 23rd...
Hint.
Yeah, exactly. On the 23rd for podcast number 12 will be Domino. QZW's Domino, otherwise known as Guppy in Twitch chat. So, I do have openings in March right now. I know Max Crimson and Razor Sharp have both expressed interest on joining me. I won't be actually taking time slots for the podcast until the end of this month. I don't like doing it until pretty much the last week. So if you'd just like to express interest in joining me on the podcast, just let me know. But I'm not taking bookings just yet. Surprisingly, the Zombie Talk podcast is actually really booked tight. It has been. A lot of people want to be on here. So all that being said, we're going to cut this off now, and coming up in a few moments will be Smite multiplayer. If you have the game, join us. Talk to John Chaos in Twitch chat if you want to join in and play with us. And we'll be starting that up in a few moments. Thanks everybody for Zombie Talk, and I'll see you next week with Jay Hare. Goodbye, everybody.